All right, hello everybody, welcome back. This is your final video lecture in Module 1. It talks about plagiarism sources from a great Turnitin.com white paper. Usually I shy away from white papers, but this one I thought had a lot of great information in it. The name of the paper is called Plagiarism in the Web, Myths and Realities. It is an analytical study on where students find unoriginal content on the internet. So you may have seen me tweet about this earlier in the semester. A third of all plagiarized content comes from social networks, content sharing, or Q&A sites. 25% of all copied material comes from legitimate educational websites. Also, legitimate educational websites provide 2 times as much plagiarized material as paper mills or cheat sites. And lastly, Wikipedia is the third most popular single source for matched content on the web. Which is why I tell my students, and I'm sure you tell yours, Wikipedia is not a source. Use it for general information, not academic work. This screencast summarizes Turnitin's white paper on plagiarism. Hopefully, it leads you to some application of new tools and an enlightened discussion later about what we can do as teachers to decrease the amount of plagiarism in our classes. Thanks again for taking the MOOC, and thanks for watching. So, Susan Blum wrote a book in 2011 called My Word, and she has the usual litany of horror stories about how many students are cutting and pasting. It provides good context for us. Over the last 15 years, almost 40 million student papers have been submitted to Turnitin.com. This study examined and classified 140 million content matches to discover which web sources students rely on for unoriginal content in their written work. There's some good news in this study. The vast majority of students who have matched content in their work do not rely on cheat sites or paper mills. Many use legitimate homework, academic, and educational sites as research sources. Students also are relying more and more on social networks and user-generated content sites like blogs to find content for their papers. So those are all good things. Students just need to be taught how to cite those things. So for those of you who don't know what Turnitin.com is, Turnitin detects patterns of matching text to help instructors determine if plagiarism has occurred. The text in a student's paper that is found to match a source may be properly cited, making it legitimate academic work. Now, on the other hand, social and content sharing websites that the highest percentage of all matched content over the course of the study, legitimate and academic help sites were second, followed by cheat sites / paper mills, and news portals and a close third and fourth. The fifth most popular category for matched content were the online encyclopedias. So out of the 25 most popular sites for plagiarizing sources, 14 are legitimate student resources, while close to 15% of unoriginal content comes from cheat sites. The majority of students are frequenting legitimate academic or educational websites. This means educators can guide these students in proper citation procedures, which I didn't learn until graduate school. So with digital plagiarism detection tools, educators can show students how much of their paper lacks attribution. Showing students a detailed report on the originality of their written work creates a teachable moment. Turnitin actually offers a great collection of white papers on student writing and plagiarism. Teachers may find this beneficial. You can go to historyrewriter.com for the live link. So, although most students understand that quoting word for word requires a citation, they're often confused about the need to cite someone else's paraphrased ideas. Turnitin claims that academic institutions adopting their service see a reduction in unoriginal content of about 30 to 35% in the first year. And by the fourth year, these institutions report that the levels of unoriginality in student writing falls by 70%. So this claim indicates that electronic plagiarism detection tools could help teachers in increasing the amount of writing that's assigned to high school and college students without actually increasing the detective work burden on the instructor. We can use technology to flip it back to the students. So in the next activity, there are a bunch of plagiarism detection tools for you to experiment with. I'm very interested in hearing how your students use these plagiarism detection tools. On our discussion board, we're going to talk about, does cutting and pasting happen because of poor research skills, or is it laziness on the part of the student, or bad time management? And we'll also talk about how can history teachers create assignments that reduce the amount of plagiarism from our students. I look forward to hearing from you. Again, we have 350 plus people in this course, so I'm hoping that we get a lot of robust comments on the discussion board and we can help teach each other how to improve as writing instructors in history. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the discussion boards.